Life you have to make mistakes. The whole world is one big.
Another opportunity God has given us. It's another blessing God has given us to host one of our top leaders in the industry, top earner, top trainer in the industry today. So the course is to unify the continent of Africa, to give the name, a good name to our industry here, how we can see other people whose life can be changed, others who can change their perceptions, their mindsets about what we do. Therefore, the project of Vision Rise Africa is to bring together the top earners in the world of network marketing, the home-based business, so that we train people on the continent of Africa each and every day on each topic. Then we will see how the Lord God Himself, through those vessels, through those trainers, transform our industry, our business, and our perceptions and mindsets. So today we have one nice gentleman who has been in the business for over past 25 years of his life, but 32 years of his life in building a home-based business. He started his journey into this industry at the age of 22 years. Yes, you heard me right, 22 years. So being in this business for almost 30 years. He's been here. He started when some of you were not born. Yes. And he struggled right after college. That is where he saw the opportunity and he joined. But along the line, the struggles and the ups and downs has made him build a very real and successful business during the span of his career. And it is from his experience that he's sharing and he's training other people all over the continent, and it's done quite long, quite good, quite better, quite professional for the industry. He knows exactly what works and what doesn't work. So what I always say is that when you want to do something, what you need to do is you look out for people who has achieved success, to people who has been on that route, people who have paved to that route and they've gotten success. Just like you can't go to a lawyer to go and learn how to play football, same way you can go to a top world class Ballon d'Or winner player to go and learn how to read law. You end up not even failing. It will be catastrophic. And anything that will last, you must build. So today he is here to just talk to us about what he did to build that long-lasting business that he is still benefiting from today after 20-something years, 30-something years. He is still on the ground and he is still benefiting from that large sum of business is built. He spoke on in the globe to over 10,000, 100,000 people in over 25 countries, and I bet you have some few manuals. The best you can do is to put your experiences in a book for the next generation to read and to know how to do what you did, how you made it, how you are going to go all about it. So some of his books he wrote was he's actually the president for the Rich for Success LCC, and that's nice.
long time
long time ago, and it's a pleasure having you here. And Africa is blessed to have you. The whole world is watching, and we said thanks so much for saying yes to the request. This is actually free. You got nothing from me. You are not taking anything from me, from anybody here. We are on a course to unify the industry on the continent of Africa. And unifying here currently we are talking about Africa. It's not about a team, it's not about a company, and
it is for the purpose of the industry on the continent of Africa. So we are so blessed to have you, and we are a lot of people are joining, and some are calling me from South Africa, some are calling me from Cameroon because of their network. They are still finding difficulties to join, but as time goes on, I'm sure some of them will be able to make it to the room. Now, ladies and gentlemen, what I want you to know about Mr. Todd is very simple. Mr. Todd started his journey in this industry way back at the age of 22 years when he graduated from college. Mr. Todd, I hope I'm getting the figures right.
Yes, and can we mute out Nana? I'm getting some feedback from her line.
Okay, let me. Oh, is it okay?
I believe so, but we're still getting sound from her line. It's the third one down. Nana Adwa.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, could you mute yourself? Excellent. There we go.
That's good. That's good. So, just like everybody, most of us, we've struggled one way or the other in the industry, but it's normal. It's part of the journey, and he passed through the same. He's been in the industry for the past 25 years. That is why I said he's been in the industry before some people here were born. And 25 years, he's so deep. His understanding the business is awesome. He knows exactly what works and what doesn't work. Therefore, he's trained. Apart from the business building and stuff, he's been training. He's been training people. His training career alone is over 10 years, and that's awesome. So he helps. His target actually is to help people see success in the industry without whether knowing where you belong, which team you belong, which country you are from, which company you are. He spoke in not less than 25 countries to over 10,000 people, and he's the president for Reach for Success, LCC. I've followed that squad for long. They are doing an amazing thing. He wrote few books, Little Black Book of the Script, Fearless Networking, the Insider Secret of Recruiting. When it comes to recruiting, I was actually just watching one of his videos with Eric Worre. And Eric Worre was saying that he is the master of recruiting when it comes to recruiting professionals into your business. And I'm amazed and I'm so blessed we have him here. Some of his books are Cracking the Code to Success in Network Marketing, among others. So he loves fishing. I've been following him. He loves catching fish. And very soon, maybe when we meet him, in US, he will take us on the fishing tutorial as well. Mr. Todd, without much ado, I want to say welcome once again to Africa with the help of technology. Today you are on the African continent, specifically hosting you in Ghana, Accra, and I'll say your audience are ready for the massive explosion this evening. Welcome, Mr. Todd.
Excellent. Thank you, Dovi. I appreciate it. And good evening, everybody. Excited to be with all of you. Anytime I get a chance to speak to a group of people about network marketing, I get very excited about it. I know when I started, actually, it was in August, it'll be 31 years that I've been involved in the network marketing profession. I started at the age of 22. I've spent my entire business career in the profession of network marketing, not in and out, but in the business every single day for 3 decades. And I say that to you because I think anytime you're learning from somebody, it's important to learn from someone who's actually done it. There are people that try to teach network marketing, for example, but they've never actually made any money in network marketing. And it's hard how do you teach something that you've never actually done? How can you relate to an audience and attempting to teach something that you haven't done yourself? So I built in the field actively for about 16 years. Last 15 years, I've been speaking full time all around the world. I've spoken in Northern Africa. I've spoken in South Africa. I've spoken in many other countries. And what I found is in traveling around the world, regardless of the culture, the continent, the company, people have the same challenges and roadblocks to overcome. And so I just want to have because I've got limited time with you guys today, I just want to have a very heart-to-heart conversation with you, a very straightforward conversation on what does it take to make it in this business, and what does it take to make it big in this business, and really create a situation for yourself where your life can be completely different as a result of network marketing. I'm pretty confident that that's a common question that people ask is, okay, how do I succeed here? You know, when I started, that was the very question that I asked. I was like, okay, this makes a lot of sense to me. This product that we can share, we can make a retail profit, we can build a team, earn a percentage on everything that they do. I got the concept of network marketing the very first time I looked at it, and it made sense to me. And I was hungry to figure it out. And so I think one of the most beautiful qualities that you can have is being inquisitive, being curious, being willing to ask the questions, being willing to say, hey, I don't understand this. Can you share, can you clarify something for me? Or can you show me how to do this? Or, you know, I think that willingness to ask questions is one of the best allies you could possibly have. I think, you know, a lot of people don't ask the question, and therefore they don't get the answer. It's hard to get an answer to a question that you never ask. So in answering the question to you guys today, what does it take to succeed on a massive scale in network marketing? And how do you make it a career for yourself? I'm just gonna, you know, I have no slides for you. I have no notes in front of me. I'm just gonna speak as directly as I can to you. When I speak in front of an audience, one of the very first things that I talk about is, look, if you want to be successful in network marketing, you have to understand that it's a confidence game, that you need to have confidence in your field leadership, the company that you represent. You need to have confidence in the profession of network marketing. And of course, you need to have confidence on yourself. And so what is confidence really? Confidence is a belief in something. Like if you have a high degree of confidence in something, you believe it to be true. Like, so for example, there are a lot of people that are involved in network marketing, but unfortunately they don't have a lot of confidence in network marketing. So how can you expect to be successful in something that you're wondering or worrying about whether it's even, you know, possible or real or going to be able to work for you? And if you just look at the, you know, because here's the thing that I found. There's a lot of people that are involved in network marketing, but they're really not doing network marketing. They're in a company, they have a distributor ID number or affiliate ID number, whatever it's called. And they show up for trainings and they show up for meetings and they show up for Zooms, but then they don't really actually do anything. And then the naysayers that are outside of network marketing who say, oh, network marketing doesn't work, or you have to be in early, or only the people at the top make the money, or even the worst one is, oh, network marketing is a get rich quick scheme or thing. Those are people that clearly don't understand our profession. Can you get rich in network marketing? Yeah. Is it going to happen fast? No. It requires a tremendous amount of diligence and work and consistent effort and energy applied over a long period of time. And you can create results in that way. But to say it's like something that happens overnight is a fallacy. So in order for you to be successful in the short term and for you to be able to be successful long term, I think the most important thing is that you have a level of belief in the business model of network marketing. Because if you think about it, and I want you to think to yourself, how many times have you ever, you know, let's say, of course, you wouldn't be here if you're not involved in network marketing, but have you ever had the opportunity to engage somebody in conversation about your product or your business, and the opportunity was there, it presented itself. You were thinking, man, I would really love to talk to this person about my product or my business, but then you chose not to. In other words, you paused or you hesitated in that moment when the opportunity was there, the thought was there, but then you actually didn't do anything. Why did you hesitate? Why did you pause? That's an important thing to think about the next time you have an opportunity to engage somebody in conversation, but in that very moment, you pause. You need to ask yourself this question: what was the predominant thought or feeling that I was having at that moment, which caused me to not act when I really wanted to act? And I think what you'll find for most people, it's some type of fear related to themselves in the business. Oh, I didn't want to be rejected, or I didn't, what if I screwed up? Or what if that person no longer liked me because I brought a business to them, which to me is like one of the most ridiculous things, for us to be so concerned about what other people think about us that we then don't act. And I think that comes from, I know it comes from a lack of belief in the business model. But if we just look at the numbers from the WFDSA, the World Federation of Direct Selling Associations, and I don't have the exact statistics right in front of me, but it's like the direct selling industry globally is about $184 billion a year. There are about 100 million people like you and I around the world that are involved in the direct selling profession. What's interesting, like in the U.S. marketplace, which is very likely the most, the most mature network marketing, longest, network marketing has been around the U.S. longer than anywhere else. About 17 million people in the U.S. are involved in direct selling, which is about 5% of the U.S. population. And I think when you, and the industry as it stands with the types of compensation plans that we have available to us has been around for about 70 years. So I want you to think about something. The profession that you're all in has been around for about 70 years, does 182 billion a year around the world. I think that should be enough for you to say, yeah, network marketing works. Network marketing is a legitimate, real way of moving goods and services into the marketplace. And because it's been around for so long, and because it's doing such significant numbers, I therefore should be able to go into the marketplace as an independent distributor with a high degree of confidence about what it is that I'm doing. Now, I can understand if this was a new model that started yesterday and it wasn't proven, how you might hesitate. But the truth is, this business has been around for a very, very long time. Hang on a second. Something happened on my computer. So I think that's kind of the beginning starting place for you, is having a degree of confidence in what we're doing. Now, so the network marketing profession is not on trial. Your compensation plan is not on trial. The only variable in this is you. So, and I'm not saying that you're on trial necessarily, but the only thing that really needs to be proven is your ability to do what we do in this business. So let's start there. So I have a formula when I talk about creating success in network marketing. It's actually an acronym, and it's MASS, MASS, and that's mindset plus action plus skill set equals success. So how you feel about what you do makes a significant difference. How you view what you do makes a significant difference. Then you have to couple that belief in the profession, that confidence in yourself that's developed over time, and you apply specific actions skillfully, that's how you achieve success. So I think another, in fact, literally probably on every stage I've spoken on over the past 15 years, I've said this in front of audiences. I want you guys to hear me very clearly right now. If you're going to be successful in this business, you need to make a decision that you're going to do this business. What happens a lot of times is people come into network marketing and they have they're like, well, if it works for me in 3 months, then I'll stay. But then if I don't see the result that I thought I should have seen, then I'm out. In fact, I was talking to my wife last night. I have a couple friends of mine that had never done network marketing before. They got into network marketing. They were all eager and excited, but they're no longer in network marketing, and they were only in network marketing for about 6 months. And I think it's funny to me because so many people come into the business and it's like they're going to give it a shot. They're going to give it a go. And when I started at the age of 22, I don't know if I was just young and naive or stubborn or maybe both, but I just thought to myself, I'm going to do this. I don't care how long it takes. I'm going to do this until I get it figured out. And I'm not going to go into my whole story, but my first 2 years of network marketing was not financially successful. In fact, I barely made any money my first 2 years. It wasn't until my 4th year that I surpassed $10,000 a month in earnings. So how many people, if they didn't make a dime for 2 years, would continue to stay? Well, those that have made a decision like myself would, and those that didn't wouldn't. And, speaking now in all of these countries around the world, in every room that I'm in, there's people that are like, oh, I'm here. Yeah, I'm committed. And I'm like, okay, cool. Well, let's see if you're still here next year. And, they'll all say, oh, no, I'll be here. I'm here. I'm committed. I'm absolutely in. And then, 6 months later, they're gone. So I think one of the strongest things at your disposal is your ability to make a commitment and just say, look, hey, I'm in. I'm going to do this business. In other words, check this out. If you decide today that you're going to do network marketing until you succeed, in other words, you don't have an exit option. It's like, I am not going to not do this business. I'm going to do this business until I figure it out. Then you have essentially guaranteed success for yourself because you don't have an exit option. Now, it might happen for you in a short period of time. It might happen to you in a longer period of time, but because you've literally drawn a line in the sand and said, I'm doing the business and I don't have a timeline. I'm going to do the business until I figure it out. Whatever that timeline is, you've essentially guaranteed yourself success as a result of it. And then what happens is all of the things, the resources, the skills, all of the stuff that needs to come to you must come to you because success is now your only option. And this might seem very fundamental, and it actually is. Because here's the thing, like if we look at network marketing, seriously, on a technical degree of difficulty scale, 1 being the easiest and 10 being the absolute most difficult thing in the world to do, I think we fall at about a 2.5. In other words, the things, what do? You share cool products with people that can enhance their lives. You share a business vehicle that if somebody chooses to do something with it can make dramatic shifts in their lives. When I think about that, that doesn't seem like that's super technically challenging. Like for example, brain surgery, like doing surgery on someone's brain would probably be a pretty difficult thing to do. That would require a lot of education and training. I mean, what do? We go talk to people about how they can improve their health or improve their life and improve their financial situation. That's easy in comparison to a lot of things that people do. But again, I think you got to ask yourself this question. In fact, write this down if you're taking notes. Have I decided? Have I decided that I'm going to do this business, or do I have an exit option? And the thing is, you don't even know what your exit option is. I mean, it may be, or when it is. But if you make that decision like I did 31 years ago, then you will succeed in network marketing. And who does network marketing work for? That's the other question, right? Who does network marketing work for some, but it doesn't work for others? It works for people that work it. That's who it works for. So I got to tell you a story real quick. So I have this guy that came to me, and look, and this, I want to share this with you because this is going to happen to you in your network marketing career. It might have happened to you already. I'm curious in the comments section. I don't know how long you guys have all been involved in network marketing, but have you ever had somebody on your team quit? If you've ever had somebody, on your team quit and say, "Oh, this just isn't working for me," then you go, "Okay, wait a minute." In fact, the next time you have somebody on your team come to you and they say, "This just isn't working out for me." Let's say Dovey was in my business and Dovey came to me and he said, "Hey, Todd, Todd, this business just isn't working." My question to him would be, all right, if it's not working, let me ask you this. How many people would you say that you've exposed this business to in the last 90 days? Like give or take, what's the number? Like, in other words, you're asking the person, what have you done lately? And the typical answer from someone is, well, not enough. In other words, they know why they're not getting the result already. So it's not that network marketing is not working for them. It's that they're not working network marketing. Because what I find is people that do the work get the result. Now, you can do the work and not get the result for sure. But the number one reason why people fail in network marketing is they simply just don't do the work. Now, we can solve that problem right here and now. I can give you, in fact, if this is the only thing I said to you today, or this is the only thing that you heard, what I'm about to share with you will most assuredly guarantee your success in this business. Now, this profession is a volunteer sport. You don't have a job here. Your sponsor, it didn't make you come to this Zoom. You came here because you wanted answers, right? You wanted to learn how to do the business, and you wanted somebody to speak directly to you and tell you the truth about what it takes to succeed. Well, it takes you making a decision. It takes you working on your mindset and your beliefs around the business model, yourself for sure. How do you have a higher degree in belief in yourself? Well, belief is confidence, right? And so if you want to have more confidence, you need to have more competence. In other words, you need to learn to do the business better. So think about something that you're really good at. Like Dovey mentioned, I love to go fishing. And I'm very good at fishing because I've done it for a very, very long period of time. I've been fishing for 45 years. So I have a high degree of confidence in going fishing and catching fish because I'm good at it. Well, how did I get good at it? I worked at it. I did it over and over and over again. I practiced it. In fact, I was out with my kid yesterday in the front yard who's learning to be a better fisherman, and I was practicing how to cast a specific type of casting a rod out. And how can you this is something that really, really bothers me. How can you get good at something that you never practice? So I'll ask you this question. How much time did you spend practicing this week? And you don't need to answer, but you need to answer that to yourself, not to me. So if you ever played any sport growing up, I don't know, soccer, football, tennis, I don't know, whatever sports that you played growing up, most of you probably played something growing up. If you played on a team, before you played the game or you went to the match, you practiced before the game. Let's take football, or I don't know if you call it football or soccer, they're probably football, right? If you played football growing up, you always practiced before the game. You would never just show up on the field and play, because you would very likely lose because you didn't take the time to practice. And that's the same thing in network marketing. People don't take the time to work on their craft. Like, I don't know if you've read this book, but there's a great book by Stephen Covey called 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And in the book, he tells this story about this. I'll just share the story with you real quickly. There's a guy who's walking through the forest, and he comes across a lumberjack that's attempting to cut a tree down. And he watches the guy for a few minutes. And this lumberjack is using not a chainsaw, but a manual saw. And he's trying to cut down this tree. And he's sweating, and he's exhausted, and he's frustrated, and he's not making any progress into the tree. And the guy that was walking through the woods taps on his shoulder and says, "Excuse me." He goes, "I can't help but notice, but there's no teeth on your saw." In other words, the saw was completely dull. And the guy looked at him exhausted and continued sawing. And he just said, "I'm too busy sawing to sharpen my saw." So if you, like, the same example, like if you've ever been in the kitchen and you're trying to cut a vegetable with a very dull knife, it doesn't cut through the vegetable. Like, you think it's so easy this is a soft vegetable, I should be able to simply cut through it. But because the knife is dull, it's not effective in cutting through whatever it is that you're cutting through. You need to sharpen you. Like, this is an example. Like, you being here is an example of you sharpening you. But how much time are you spending working on your craft, improving your prospecting skills, improving your presentation skills, improving your closing skills? These are things like, for example, I do a lot of what I teach is how to. I don't really consider myself a motivational speaker. It's not my thing. I mean, you might get motivated by something that I say, but that's not the intention. The intention is to teach you how to do the business. I'll tell you right now, if you spend time practicing your presentation skills, practicing your prospecting skills, you will absolutely improve. But if you never take the time to practice, which is what most people do, most people honestly don't ever practice this business, and then they wonder why they're not good. So, like, going back to the thing I was going to share with you. So I had a guy come to me one time. It was October 15th of 2016. And he called me up, and he was really like, I know everybody in network marketing, and he knows that. So he calls me up, and he was kind of depressed, and he said, "Hey, he's like, what's good out there?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, so in other words, he's looking for a new deal. And I said, "Wait, before we get into what's good out there, let's talk about your attitude and what's up with you right now." I said, and I'd known this guy for a while. I said, "You're still doing the same company, right?" He goes, "Yeah." I go, "How long have you been there?" He said, 10 years. I said, "Okay, so you've been in the company," and it's a good company, solid company. I said, "So you've been there for 10 years. I said, "Let me ask you this." And this was October 15th of 2016. It was 10 and a half months into the year. I said, "Let me ask you this. Before we get into what's good out there, how many people have you personally recruited this year?" And he like hemmed and hawed. "Well, I don't know." And he finally came up with the answer. He goes, "Maybe 4. I'm like, wait a minute. It's 10 and a half months into the year, and you've personally recruited 4 people. I don't think anybody here on this Zoom will tell me that 4 people that you recruited in 10 and a half months is a lot. And I said, "Well, okay, so I already knew the answer why I wasn't getting the result. I said, how many would you say that you recruited in the 10 years you've been with the company? I said, you need to give me an exact number, but what do you think the number is? 10 years. It's a long time. And he came back to me and he said, well, I probably put maybe 40 people into the business. Can any of you tell me that recruiting 40 people in 10 years is a lot? No. And then my final question to him was, all right, so you're full-time in the business, right? And he said, yeah. I said, in other words, you don't have a job or another company or anything else? He said, no, this is all I do. I said, well, okay, how much time do you spend working your business each week? And he said, well, I probably average maybe 10 or 15 hours a week. So here's a guy that's saying he's full-time and he's complaining about the lack of results that he's getting or not getting. But he's just simply not doing the work. Do you guys follow me? So if I were to, and I won't put any of you on the spot, and said, how many people did you recruit last week? Or how many people did you reach out to last week? Some of you would be very proud to say what that number is. And some of you are thinking, I didn't talk to anybody last week. If you want to be successful in this business, you should never have a single day that passes where you're not introducing somebody new to your products or your business. That's what we do. And so this life-altering thing that I said I was going to share with you is this. I want you to do this today. Create a new rule for yourself or a new law. And the rule or the law is, never does a day pass without me doing X, or I never go to bed until I've done blank. And here's what the X or the blank is. Never does a day pass until I've done X number of intentional business building reach outs. Or I never go to bed until I've reached out to X number of people. And the X or the blank needs to be something that you come up with. And so I run a 12-week accountability program. I've been doing it since 2008. And this is something that I do in the very right at the beginning of this program. I'm starting another one in mid-July. I'll tell you about that at the tail end of today. But I've been running this program for a very long time, and it's really designed to help people step up to a higher level of production and get them to do more. Like, people want to do more, but a lot of times they just can't seem to get themselves to do more. So sometimes people need a little bit of help. If you started today and said, okay, from this day forward, every single day that I show up for my business, before I go to bed, before I lay my head on my pillow, I don't ever lay my head on the pillow until I've reached out to X number of people. And that's a number you need to pick for yourself, but it needs to be a number that forces you to stretch. Like 1, for example, none of us would think that, one person a day is a lot of work. Like 1, I could leave you right now, do 1 invite, and I could be done for the rest of the day. So that number is too small. But then some of you that are big thinkers are going to say 50. Like, I have a young kid in my A team right now that said, I'm going to do 50 a day. And I said, really? I said, I love big thinkers. I said, 50, huh? I said, you're telling me that never will a day pass until you've at least reached out to 50 people? Not a single day in your life will pass that you didn't reach out to a minimum of 50 people. Are you sure you can live up to that? And he's like, yeah, maybe I need to adjust my number. So the number needs to be something that isn't so big that you fail to reach every day, but isn't so small that is like 1. And so I don't know what the number is for you, but let's just pick a random number. Let's say 5. How many of you think that you could reach out to 5 people a day? If that was like your only mode, that's the only thing that you had to do, is like, I just my whole goal is I don't go to bed until I've reached out to a minimum of 5 people about my business. How many of you in the comments think you could do 5 a day? Just 5. That's it. Not 50, not 25, but 5. I mean, 5, you can do 5 invites in probably an hour. If you just set your mind to it, you can reach out and say, hey, you can do 5 invites easily in 1 hour. What if you made the decision today, made it a rule in your life today, that never does a day pass until you've done a minimum of 5 reach outs for your business? Where would your business be 365 days from now? So thinking of that rule, now I want you to look back at the last 365 days. Have you done 5 intentional reach outs every single day for the last 365 days without fail, without skipping a day? If you can say yes to that, I can most assuredly tell you that your check is showing it. The real truth is that people who fail in network marketing fail because they simply don't do the work. And if I could, again, if and I said it earlier, if this was the only thing that I shared with you today, that you giving yourself a rule that you live up to, and that means you don't just lip it, speak it into existence, talk it, you do it, you'll never have a problem earning money in this business. Now, if we couple that with, and by the way, even if you're not highly skilled, you'll still get the result. It may not be the same result that myself or Dovey might get, who have invested time and energy working on our craft, but the good news is you can work on your skill sets so that your saw is sharper, so that the results that you're getting are bigger. So for example, if I took a brand new person who had never done network marketing, and I just said, look, if you just go reach out to 5 people a day and you just focus on that, and you and I will have a competition and see who gets the better results. Who's going to get the better result? Me. Why? Am I a better person? No, I just have more experience and I've worked on getting good. So the way I do it is probably going to be more effective than somebody who's brand new. But each and every one of you have the ability to improve if you decide that you want to improve. And so, and one other thing I got to tell you, because I don't know, in fact, do me a favor in the comment section, in the chat, tell me how long, I want to hear from each of you on this if you can do it. How long have you been involved in network marketing? And if it's months, say 6 months. If it's years, say 6 years. A week, a month, 4 months, 10 years. I'm curious to know what the experience level of you guys is that's here. If you can put in the comments, I'm curious to know how long you've been involved in the network marketing profession. 7 years, 2 years, 7 months, 3 years, 6 years, 4 months or 4 years. So here's something I need to tell you. So we got some experience here, some people that have been around for a little bit. Because Dobie asked me to come here and talk about, like, what does it take to go big in this business? And when I talk about going big, I want to make sure you're keeping it, that you don't just make it and then it disappears. 12 years, Charles, that's good. Probably one of the biggest mistakes people make in this business. I don't know if I would say it's the biggest mistake, but it's probably very close to it, if not the biggest mistake, is people will get into this business and they will start building, they'll start recruiting, they'll start putting customers in, they'll start to develop a team. The team continues to grow. They begin to make some money. They begin to make more money than they've ever made in their life. And they're like, and let's say, and I'll just talk in US dollars for a second. So somebody comes in and maybe their whole life they were making $3,000 a month in their job. They come into network marketing and they start building a business, and they're focused on recruiting and customer acquisition and building their team. And over a period of time, they're starting to make $5 grand, $6 grand, 10, then they get to 10 grand a month. They're making $10,000 a month. And before, their whole life, they never made more than $3,000 a month. Now they're making $10,000 a month in network marketing and think, oh my gosh, I've made it. I have hit the mother lode. I've made it. And then what they do, unfortunately, many people do this, is because when you start, it's just you. Then it's you and a couple other people. Then it's you and a few more. And the bigger your team gets, the bigger the demands on your time to assist your organization. They're calling you, they have questions, they need help, they've got a product question, they've got a new rep that they want to introduce you to, they've got a training question. And so you have this natural pull of your attention to support your team, which is part of what we do. But the mistake people often make, and I have coached a number of 7-figure income earners, people that have made over 7 figures in network marketing, who built a business and then they stopped doing the very thing that got them there. And they went from personally recruiting and acquiring customers to only working with their team. You need to be working with your team, but you always have to continue to bring in new customers and bring in new reps that you personally recruit. And I actually, there's a term for it, and it's not a friendly term, and Dovey knows the term because he's followed me for a while. It's called the kiss of death in network marketing. And the kiss of death in network marketing is the moment you go from personal recruiting and customer acquisition to only working with people on your team. And look, we have people from 12 years, 11 months, 3 years, 12 years, 2 years, 3 months, 2 years, 4 years. I would hate to see you make this mistake, which is building a good check and then stopping the very thing that got you to the big check. And you'd think, well, why would I stop? Well, people do it all the time. I mean, I got a girl I'm working with right now that made $1.5 million in 4 years. She was a massage therapist before getting involved in network marketing, has made more money in the last few years than she's ever made in her life. And her check was going like this, and she stopped doing the thing that got her there, and then it started to go like this, and now her check has gone right back down, because what she did do is she stopped recruiting and she stopped acquiring customers, and she thought she made it. She made some, and she made a lot actually, but to say she made it, I don't think you ever can say to yourself, oh, I have arrived. I've arrived. Now I'm done. And I'm not saying that you can't go play, vacation, enjoy the fruits of your labors, but you can't go into complete management mode. Because the moment you move into a management mode, it's the beginning of the end for you. And I mentioned to you when I started today that this is just a very frank conversation. You want to be successful in this business? You wouldn't be here if you didn't. Well, if you want to be successful, you need to make a decision and draw a line in the sand and have no exit option. You need to make it a point to get as good as you possibly can, to improve your skills, to work on your ability to do this well. I think another thing to consider is, who are you hanging out with? Who are you surrounding yourself with? Are you surrounding yourself with people that lift you up and encourage you? Or are you hanging out with friends that are like, oh, why are you doing that thing? And I actually had to remove some friends from my life that really weren't my friends. Because a real friend, you could be my friend and not join my business. You could be my friend and not even buy my product. But a real friend would be waiting at the finish line for me, high-fiving me and saying, great job. A real friend doesn't say, oh, I can't believe you're doing one of those. How crazy of you. And so I don't know who needs to hear this, but I'm sure some of you have some negative people in your life. So people that just don't get it, don't understand it. And you have a choice to make. Do you continue to surround yourself with people that don't encourage you, or do you surround yourself with people that lift you up and encourage you and cheer you on? I think that makes a big difference in what goes on in here. Because, you know, I would say more than anything, skills are important for sure, very important. But network marketing is really more of a mindset game. The biggest battle that you need to win victory over is what goes on in here. How you feel about the profession, how you feel about your company, your leadership, and how you feel about yourself. How you feel about yourself and your ability to go make something happen. Which is, you know, one of the reasons why, you know, 15 years ago, I moved into the training side of the business. I had actually, some people asked me, well, Todd, why, if you're so good at network marketing, I made a lot of money in the field as a network marketing distributor. And I had a company I'd spent 11 years with that went out of business. And a friend of mine who I knew, who knew me, asked me to speak at a seminar. And he just said, hey, will you come and speak at one of my events? And I said, yeah, I guess. What do you want me to talk about? Because I'd never spoken to anybody outside of my own organization. He said, man, just talk about how you prospect and recruit, how you're good at it. I said, oh, okay. So I did. And that one event 15 years ago was the beginning of me doing what I do today. I've been speaking full time for 15 years all over the world to network marketing companies, big and small, on every continent around the planet. And I never planned on being a speaker or a trainer. That door just opened up for me. And I feel like I feel like I owe the profession something back that was so given to me so in such a great way. I mean, network marketing has enabled me to do things in my life that I would have never been able to do. My children have never seen daddy go to work. Can you imagine that? Like my kid, like I was playing, I have a 13-year-old and a 15-year-old. And when my oldest one was 8, we were outside the house, in the front of the house at about 8:30 in the morning. And all these cars were driving out of the neighborhood. And he looked at me and he said, Daddy, where's everybody going? I was like, buddy, they're going to work. He's like, they're going to work? You mean they don't all work from home? I go, no, most people don't all work from home. They get up and they take a shower and they go to a place of work and they work and then they come home. He's like, oh. He goes, I like you working from home. So my kids have never known a father that has left the house to go to work. I might jump on an airplane to go fly someplace and do some work, but that comes not by accident. That comes by just making the decision that I'm going to do this business. Each and every one of you has a chance to be very, very successful here, but you have to do the work to be successful. You have to be focused on what matters the most. Ask yourself this question: what matters the most? What's the most important thing that I should do today? You don't even have to be in this business for any period of time and you can answer that question. What's the most important thing you should do today? Put a customer in and put a rep in. Is there anything else that's more important than that? I don't think there is. I mean, of course, you need to help your people, but the most important thing is that you need to be focusing on introducing new people to your products and to your business. Now, how you invite that person, there's a lot of different ways you can invite somebody. I think it's important that, I mean, one of my favorite questions to ask is, Dovey, let me ask you a question. Do you at all keep your options open in terms of making any money outside of what you're currently doing? That's a very powerful peak interest question. You being able to confidently invite somebody to take a look at whatever business it is that you're involved in, I think is of utmost importance. The very first day I walked into network marketing at the age of 22, they handed me a script. They handed me a script because I didn't know what to say. If you're new to network marketing, do you know what to say? Nope. Because you're new. You've never done this before. You're like, yeah, this makes sense to me. This product really makes sense. This business idea looks really cool, but how do I put people into it? It's a legitimate question. And then that should probably be answered very, very quickly. So it was answered for me quickly. It's like, hey, here's a script that you can use. You can work on it. You can practice it. Dovey mentioned, for example, my little black book of scripts. If you struggle with knowing what to say, you can get a digital copy of my little black book of scripts. I'll actually type it in I'm going to give you a couple of different things that you can access of mine that I think can be helpful in you building your business. Littleblackbookofscripts.com is, I just typed that in the comment section. That's the best way for you guys to get it in Africa is digital. It's a digital download with 2 audios. I put the words in your mouth for every situation that you might encounter, so that if you don't know what to say, then you can quickly learn what to say and how to say it in a manner that produces a result. Because when I started, I wasn't good. I was hungry. I had a desire to improve. And so I started to ask questions and seek out answers, which is one of the first things I said to you today. Ask. Be inquisitive. Be curious. If you have somebody in your upline that's better than you are, ask them questions. Most people in your upline are eager to help you figure the business out. If you don't know how to do something, ask how to do it. If you're unclear of something, ask for clarity. And then again, that one thing that I said to you, and if it was and I know I've shared some other things with you today, but if the only thing that you did was made a commitment to make a new law in your life where never does a day pass without you doing X, and you live up to that number every single day, you will succeed in the business. There's no question about it. There's no question. Now, let me finish with this. I mentioned something that I've been doing for a long time. So, and some people are apparently having some audio problems, but I'm pretty sure, Dovey, you can hear me, correct? You can hear me. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Yeah, I figured. So I'm going to actually put something in the chat box, which I did. One of the things that I've been running for 11 years is a program called A-Team, which the A stands for accountability. And A-Team is designed to help you step up to the better version of yourself. If you're struggling to show up, or if you say to yourself, I know I could be doing more, but you can't seem to get yourself to do more, I would encourage you to participate in the upcoming A-Team that I have that starts on July 14th. And the details are on that page. Now, I'll say something to you real quickly. When I started running A-Team in 2008, it was $500 US to do the 12-week program. You will not even pay anything close to that because of this whole COVID-19 thing that we're all aware of that's been happening around the world. I decided to cut the price of A-Team down to $99, and that's a price that I've never made this thing available in 11 years of doing it. So if you're curious to know about improving your skills and doing more and setting yourself up for success, I would encourage you to go to that page and get yourself registered for my A-Team. Now, I realize when we do the A-Team sessions on Zoom each week, They're at 6 p.m. Pacific time, which is 1 a.m. your time for most of you. So that would require a little extra commitment if you want to be there live. But I do record every single session, so you can catch the recording if necessary, and you can still get the maximum result out of the A-Team experience. When we just opened up registrations for that on Friday, but if you're really, really hungry and wanting to improve your skills, I teach every single week. I teach on a new subject. We've got a private Facebook group that you can engage and interact in. I have had and do have right now people from all over the world in this current program that I'm at number 8 on. My next one starts July 14th. And again, the website for that's in the comments. It's toddfalcone.com/team, TEAM. And so I would encourage you to check that out. And it would be an opportunity. It's cool because you have the opportunity to do this 12-week program for way less than it's ever been. So the last quarter and this quarter, I cut the price down because of what's been happening around the world. And I decided again for this quarter to keep it at that $99 price point rather than going back up to what it was before. But that's something that you need to decide for yourself. Well, do I need skill training? Do I need a little extra accountability? Do I need somebody that's going to help push me to do more? Only you know your real situation. So I would encourage you to do a few things when you leave tonight. Ask yourself, have I decided? Make that rule for yourself and stick to that rule. Start asking yourself, what can I do to alter my mindset? Start working on your craft. Start spending more time practicing and focusing on improving your skill sets. Because you can either continue to stay where you are skill-wise, or you can go, I want to get really good at this. And I got to tell you, and I'll finish with this. My 13-year-old boy, he's gone fishing several times in his life. But in the last month and a half, he's really, really taken to fishing. And I remember the very first time I took him out fishing, he couldn't cast a rod. And he was really frustrated. He's like, Dad, I can't do it. Dad, I just don't know. I'm not good at it. And I said, buddy, you've never done it before. You can't expect to be good at something that you've never done before. And now he gets it because the other day I took him out and he caught the biggest bass he's ever caught in his life. I have to show you this picture and see. I'll show you on the screen here, because here's a kid who was completely frustrated, who had never gone fishing before, didn't know anything about fishing. And then this is a fish that he caught just 2 days ago. And you can see the smile on his face. And he was able to catch that fish because he said, Dad, I want to get good at this. That's the biggest bass he's ever caught. I've fished my whole life, and my kid caught the first fish and the biggest fish of the day while we were out fishing. But you can't catch a fish unless your line is in the water. And if you put your line in the water and you work on moving whatever you're moving through the water, depending on what kind of fishing you're doing, in a more skillful way, then you'll get a better result. And that's the perfect analogy for what we do in network marketing. So I appreciate you guys. You can plug into I got a lot of free training on my website. If you just go to toddfalcone.com, right at the very top of the page, it says new to Todd ? You can plug into my resources there. I put out a free training video every single week. There's a lot of great resources that can help you that are directly on my website. There's hundreds of training videos there that you have access to, and I would certainly encourage you to plug into me, because I think I can help you improve your results. So Dovi, thank you so much for having me today, and I'll pass it back over to you.
All right, Mr. Todd, that's fantastic. In fact, I have in the house most of my senior let me say the word, uplines and sister lines, success lines in the house, and from other countries, other companies, and other teams. We are so blessed having you, and we said, God bless you so much. But this won't be the first, and this won't be the last. So I just want to ask some few questions on behalf of some of the team members who sent me personal messages, private messages, because they couldn't join the call because of network and stuff. Someone was asking if you did business with only one company for all the 25 to 30 years in your life, or they want to know.
No, I did not work with only one company. It would have been nice for me to find one company and stick with that one company for the entire years that I was building in the field. But I built 6 different companies to the top of their compensation plans, and the only reason I built 6 is because I had to. One company went out of business, another one, the company owner made some very bad decisions. And the reasons I changed companies is because typically of decisions that were made corporately that kind of changed things in the field. So I had to, but the thing is, like, when you have the skills and you've got the work ethic, you can just go build another one. I would have loved to have just built one, but I had to do it 6 times.
That's the catch word there is the skills, the skill set.
Yes.
I love that. And how was it like, the transition from one company at a particular point in time to the other? How was it like?
That's an interesting question. When typically when you leave a company, especially if you're a person of influence in that company, when you leave, those people that are your friends can sometimes get a little weird, and they are angry or upset. When I left the companies that I left, in all of my years, I've never once been terminated from a network marketing company. And the reason I never got terminated was when I left one company to go build another, I just built with new people. So I just left the existing organization intact and built with new people. In fact, 2 of the companies that I left that stayed in business after I left, one of them paid me for 12 years after, and the other one paid me for 15.
Wow.
And they continued to pay me the check because I didn't just go tear apart that organization and try to bring it over to another place. I just started new.
That's nice. And the other question is on the topic of closing. I know you do a lot of podcasts on closing. I've listened a lot of them. Someone is just sent me a message that they just want you to give us a short scenario on how you normally close your prospects, especially high quality profile, like professionals. Like I was watching the interview between you and Mr. Eric on the couch. I don't know whether you were in
Oh yeah.
Like that.
Yeah. In fact, I'm going to put one more there's a training that I do throughout the week that you can catch at any time. I'm going to give this. This is a training I do on recruiting professionals. I just put it into the comment section. It's toddfalcone.com/pros, PROS. But here's the thing: when it comes to closing, most of your money is going to be made because you follow up with somebody. So if I were to say, Dovey, I've got this really great business that I'm doing, I'd love to show you what I'm up to. If I sent you this video, would you take a look at it? And you're like, yeah, I'll take a look at it. I would say, great. When can you look at it today so I can get back to you? And or if it was in the afternoon, I would say, when can you look at it in the next 24 hours so we can schedule a time to chat again? And I would schedule a follow-up appointment with you. And then let's say it's tomorrow. I'm calling you back tomorrow. I call you back and I say, hey, Dovey, did you have a chance to watch that video? And you say, I did. I say, great. What did you like the most about what you saw? So it's a question where I'm asking a question in a very specific way. I said, what did you like the most about what you saw, which forces you to say something positive about what you looked at? And you say to me, well, Todd, I liked it all. I liked the product. I liked the business. This made a lot of sense to me. I like to take a prospect's temperature by asking a question like, Dovey, let me ask you this. If you were going to rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, 1, this is not for me, and 10, oh my gosh, I have to do this. This absolutely makes sense. I want to do this. What number would you give yourself? And I do that because it would cause you to say, well, I'm a 5 or I'm a 7 or I'm a 9 or I'm a 10. My objective is to help you get yourself to a 10. Because when you're a 10, that means you're ready to sign up. So after I've addressed any of the questions that you might have, the way I close is very, very simple. I would just say, and this involves you knowing the different product packages or the options that your company has in signing somebody up. Most of you have different options, right? They can come in this way, or they can come in with this, or they can come in with this. You need to know what those are and what the benefits are to that person. So my closing question is typically, Dovey, would it be okay with you if I showed you the different options in getting started with our company? And I don't think I've ever had somebody say, no, you can't do that. They're like, yeah, you can. And then I simply say, well, there's this option, and this option. How do you see yourself getting started? And I let you decide how to get started based on me sharing the different options that are available in the company. But that's essentially, that's a short version of closing, but that's really the question that I ask at the tail end of the process.
All right. In fact, you gave me 1 hour, but it seems the conversation is more getting is very sweet now. So this one question from a top leader who is higher ranked than me. He said, want to find out from you at your stage. Maybe you've built for some time, you've gotten to a certain stage in your business. Then all of a sudden, apathy. Your top leaders, your 6-figure earners, 3, 4, 5-figure earners, people you invest so much time, energy, effort in building them up, bringing them up, started to leave for no reason, which you can't control. How do you take it? How do you go about it? How do you handle that?
I handle it maturely. So no matter how good a company is, you're always going to have people that leave. Your company could be on fire and growing like this, and you'll still have people that leave for whatever their reasons are. Maybe they got into an argument with somebody at corporate, or maybe who knows? It could be anything that happens. And you just have to understand that no matter how good the company is, people will leave. So how do you prevent that? Well, you prevent it through communication. So the more especially when you grow a really big business, let me share this with you. When you grow a big business and you have developed a large organization and you have multiple people that are making 6 and 7-figure incomes in your team, they don't need you for help. They're running their own events. They're running their own Zooms like we're on today. You still maintain very consistent communication, because let's say I had you, Dovey, in my business and you're making 7 figures and you don't need me for anything. It could be very easy for a month or 2 months or 3 months to pass by without me talking to you, because you don't even need me anymore. But to me, that's such a big mistake, because if I stop communicating with you, then if something were to happen, I won't catch it in time. But if you and I are talking regularly, if I have a conversation with you, like let's say even once a week, just to check in and see how things are going, if something were to happen that you got frustrated about or mad about, I'd be able to fix the problem before it turned into a really big problem, which caused you to want to leave. So one of the biggest leadership mistakes people make, and I actually have a rule that I've instituted. It's called the 7-day rule. And the 7-day rule is never let more than 7 days pass without having some form of conversation with the most valued assets on your team, these people that are making 5, 6, and 7 figures. But if they still were to leave, I would have a conversation with you and see if I can save you and see if I can get you to stay. But honestly, if you feel like you have to leave, I'd say, hey, listen, If you feel like this is not the place for you, then I wish you the best of luck. You do whatever you need to do. And if you decide that you want to come back, you'll be welcome with open arms. And so I do that because a lot of times people leave a good situation and then they realize, oh man, I made a mistake. And if you're mean to them on the way out, they'll never come back. I've had people who are significant earners on my team think that the answer was better someplace else in another company. And they realize, oh, well, after they peeled a couple layers of the onion back, they're like, oh, wow, this isn't what I thought it was. And then they want to come back. Well, I've had people come back to me because of the way I treated them on the way out. So we can do our best to retain people through communication, but sometimes we still have people that leave. But if we treat them with respect and we don't freak out or get angry, even though, and I understand it can affect your emotions, but if you hold on to your emotions, then when and if they realize they've made a mistake, they're way more likely to come back to you.
Thank you so much. That's powerful. And I have two last questions.
Yes,
This
sir.
is from Nino. There's someone who just a newbie, 3 months in business. He said, what will you do being in his shoes, 3 months in business? Anybody you talk to, the person is saying, I don't have money. How do you handle that? When you started, not in these current shoes, when you started at age 22, you talk to someone, I don't have money. Talk to this, I don't have money. What do you do? How do you handle it?
That's a great question. The two biggest objections we get are I don't have the time and I don't have the money. So I would say to you, well, how much longer do you want to have to say I don't have the money? How much longer in your life do you want to say I don't have the money? If I could show you a way to never have to say that again, are you open to taking a look at it? The other thing is, what I found is people that say that they don't have the money, most of the time, they have the money. They're just not willing to part with the money because they're not convinced that they'll get the results. So they don't want to part with the money. In other words, they don't see themselves yet in the picture succeeding. But if you can get a person to feel like I can do this, that even if they're very tight on money, they'll come up with the money. Because here's the thing. If somebody wants something bad enough, they'll typically figure out a way to come up with a way to get it. Like, think about that. Things in your life that you wanted. Oh, I want that thing, or I want to go here. If you focus on it bad enough, if that's something you want bad enough, you almost always figure out a way to make it happen. And the thing is, like, when somebody says, I don't have the money, I mean, really, in network marketing, it costs almost nothing to get in. So typically they just don't see the value yet in it for themselves, which is why they're not yet willing to part with the money. So it's a value proposition, and you got to figure out and answer whatever their concerns or questions are, and then they'll come up with the money.
All right. So the last question is from the whole team, the whole Africa, which I know the answer is yes. Would you, anytime soon, considering your calendar, respond to our call again to train us on a particular topic?
I would be happy to come back for another Zoom. I would be happy to fly out to Africa and do an event. We can certainly make that happen. I've been out there many times, and I would love to come out to Ghana and speak as well. So Zoom or live event, let's make it happen.
Thank you so much. So on behalf of the continent, my vision is to rebrand and rebirth the industry network marketing on the continent. There's so much struggle, there's so much bad name, and which I think is due to previous experience from other leaders. How we, the current generation, don't know. But with your help, I think it's a powerful session we had today. We say God bless you so much. The only promise we promise you is to put into practice what you taught. Otherwise, all the knowledge, all the information become useless. So I said, I stand on behalf of my senior uplines, all other leaders from other companies on the call. And I said, we thank you so much for responding to the call, which you just did. No email, no formal letter, just a Facebook message, and you responded. God bless you so much. God bless your wife. I can see Bob Marley back there. We love him so much.
Yes.
So we said there's a little bit of spirit of Africa in you already. And so
Yes, there is.
Regards to the family, regards to your kids, your wife, your entire team, and God bless you, bless your family, bless your hustle, and bless the entire world and the industry at large. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. Have a great night, everybody. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. Thanks so much, Mr. Tambo, Papa Solo, Mr. Peters from Nigeria, Joyce, everybody. I can't mention everybody's name. Everyone that joined this call with the team, I said, God bless you so much. God bless you for joining. God bless you. God bless you. Look forward for another surprise, a big one, of course, which is going to blow your mind. Just stay tuned. Whatever it is, I'm going to share the link with you. I'm going to share the pull up with you. Stay tuned. But don't forget to practice what you've heard, what you learned. Let's pump it up. Let's make it happen. Whatever your company, wherever you are, let's make it happen. God bless you. Hey, Alaji Sani, I can see your beard. Let's make it happen by putting into practice this. I intentionally ask all those questions on behalf of the whole team, on behalf of the continent, because a lot of people ask me the same questions, and it is good we are here today. It's unfortunately we were trying to update our Zoom, and I want to apologize that Zoom took the money from the account, but the upgrade didn't went through. I don't know whether it's because of weekend or stuff like that. So I'm still following up, and because our last version we had over 140 to 160 participants with Mr. Jaro on leadership, and I think that one was massive. And today was boom. So let's go ahead, practice. Let's wear our leadership garments and be ready for the future and be ready for all the predicaments ahead. I said it's no more just Team Rise Africa. This is Vision Rise Africa. God bless you for joining. God bless your hustles. God bless your families. Bye-bye.